So, remember when I told you that we were just, waiting on parts? Yeah, that wasn't the whole story. Turns out there was a rodent nest in the dash. Because apparently, when you park a truck for a while, more than just you move in. So, to break it all down, I purchased the vehicle sight unseen, basically through a Facebook group, HTT group. Flew to Bristol, Tennessee, bought it from a gentleman. He was the first owner. One had been converted, and he'd already bought another one and was selling this one. He lived on a farm. He actually drove it to the airport as I flew in, landed, called him, picked it up, and drove it 1,600 miles back. So the whole time he's had it on for sale, it hasn't been moving. It's just been sitting on his farm. Had some issues driving it back. Thought it was mainly parts. Got back, dropped it off the shop. Basically went through with a fine-tooth comb, and the overall bill to fix it, to make it roadworthy and something we'd be proud of, was going to be around $20K. So after multiple shop calls, I've gone to the shop probably at least 6 times in the last 4 weeks just to try to get updates, even though they have a software that I can log in and see where they're at. It's not very consumer friendly. So I'm having to drive 30 miles each time I want to go just talk to someone. And finally got that appraisal whittled down a little bit. And then my last trip there on Friday, I was supposed to be meeting a metal fabricator because we're doing something additional to the truck to make it easier to pull the side-by-side up on the back. So he was meeting me there. And when I got there, the shop foreman was like, hey, we got to talk about something. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And he's like, okay, so we replaced all the LED lights like you asked. And for some reason, once we got it all buttoned up and we were trying to, do the left turn signal and the hazard lights, it kept shorting the whole system out. It's like, well, that's strange. He goes, yeah, we thought so too. So we went back in and pulled everything out. And he goes, and we investigated a little bit more, and we found a nest that looked like there'd been either a rat or mice or something of that nature. And he's like, how long have you had this? So of course I told him where I bought it from. He goes, well, that makes sense. If it's out on a farm, mice like warm places and they love chewing on electrical wiring. So they're having to go through and basically rewire that whole area. So they pulled the dash, they see the rodent nest, got the wiring short, and now they're chasing basically electrical gremlins, right? It is what it is. Is it frustrating? Yes, because here it is. It's February 22nd. We were already supposed to be up in Salida, Colorado. We're still down here in Colorado Springs. We're about 2 weeks overdue. Even once they finish, I still have to go and finish registering it with the DMV, which requires me to go and have the diesel exhaust check done from exhaust readers. Luckily, since it's technically an RV and not a DOT vehicle, the test is supposed to be less intrusive. But if it ends up being more, that would just be par for the course, and we'll figure it out as we go from there. So we're the type of people, we don't dwell on problems. Problem is what it is. We try to figure out a solution, and then we just adjust, right? So that's why we went to Breck. Spent some time up there with the family. Came back, was really hoping the truck would be done. Nope, wasn't done. So what do? We completely clean the RV like we do once a week. Do the normal things, the daily routine with the dogs, stuff of that nature, and just keep doing life. And of course, still working, right? And then add on top of it, as I'm trying to record this video, I'm having to record it now from my iPhone versus my, studio setup that I have, because for some reason my Mac doesn't want to talk to the digital camera that we have. So just, those things. Am I frustrated? Yes. Am I annoyed? Absolutely. Is it going to break me? No. It just, after serving 20 years in the Army and multiple combat tours to both Iraq and Afghanistan, these are just more annoyances, kind of like when a fly keeps buzzing around your face. It's more of an annoyance, not life-threatening. It just, it comes with the territory. So that's where we're at right now. Now let's talk about what's coming up next. So here's what's coming up next. Tomorrow, Monday, the metal fabricator's coming back out, going to take measurements. I'm going to get some content of him explaining the winch system that he's building to make it easier for us to basically load up our ATV onto the actual bed versus me just having to drive it up on the ramps, because that is kind of sketchy. We'll show the stinger measurements and stuff, and he'll explain the nuts and bolts for those of you that may be wanting to do this yourself and have kind of an idea how to do it. I've also got an interview with the foreman once we're actually done, so that way he can go over literally the entire thing with everybody. There'll be a whole video just on him talking about what the truck was like when he received it, all the shortcomings and pitfalls, and how they problem solved to get over it to get the final product, and to include the electrical troubleshooting. And I don't want this video to end that we're stuck. We're not stuck. We're just delayed, and we're still building. And of course, these are the things that, most people just don't talk about in videos because it's not glamorous, right? But it's real, it's raw, and it's relevant. So anyway, so thankful for you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments down below, or you may even have had experiences similar to this. Like I said, we're green and growing, not ripe and rotting. We're new at this. We're definitely not experts, just documenting our journey on the way. That's it for now. Still building through thick and thin. Talk to you next time.